Hey y'all, it is Kat from Kat Southern Charms. We're back for another video. Today, we're gonna do something with wallpaper or contact paper that is waterproof. We're gonna use our Resincrete, Magic Pour, all kind of different names, Pure Cure, Jasminite. There's all kind of different names for this plaster-like powder. We're gonna use that with this. We're gonna turn these face down in a trinket tray so you can see from underneath, and around the edges we're gonna do some marbling and designs. Hopefully it turns out like I have it in my head. We shall see. I do know, or I'm pretty sure, I haven't poured one yet, but I have it on pretty good authority that this is gonna take 200 grams of powder. So I have 100 grams with 30 grams of water, because this powder, and I'll show you, sadly, they're not making this anymore. Teakspert decided to discontinue it. I still have some left, so I'm gonna use it up. But where's my other bag? Shoot. J Diction has one called Resincrete. Same thing. You measure 10 parts powder to 3 parts water. So I'm multiplying this by 10. So 10 times 10 is 100 for the powder. 10 times 3 is 30 for my water. And I'm gonna mix that up. Now, here's a warning. When you mix this, you don't have a whole lot of work time. This stuff sets up really fast. And I think it says, yeah, you can demold this in 30 minutes. Here's a pro tip. Don't do that. Why do I say that? Because you're using water, okay, to mix with this. And after 30 minutes, it still has a lot of water content in it. So you want to give the water more time to evaporate, especially if you're working on, say you pour this and you have little intricate areas like the claws down here. I promise you, if you take this out at 30 minutes, more than likely you're going to lose the claws because it's very fragile at that state. What I like to do is I let it sit 3 to 4 hours. You don't have to go that extreme. That's just how I do it. I prefer to do it. So when I pour this, it's all done. I'm gonna let it sit. Then we'll come back, we'll take everything out of the molds, and I'll show it to you how it turned out. But keep that in mind. Just because the bag says you can demold at 30 minutes, I highly suggest you do not do that. Especially if you have intricate little areas that may break off when you demold. Okay, so we covered that warning. Now, when you get this powder, most of these come in a kit, and it will come with dyes like this. These are specific dyes just for this plaster-like powder. I can tell you from experimenting, and I have another video you can look up that I did this on. In fact, I'll link it at the end, where I mixed mica powder in with my plaster powder to make a darker color. It turned out really good. I was super impressed with it, and I'll have the piece at the end to show you the difference. So mica powder, if you're gonna do it, mix it in with your powder before you add your water, and then you can add, black paste I added to my water to get a black plaster. That's how I did it last time to get that color. But highly suggest you use these dyes, and it comes in just primary: black, green, blue, red, and yellow. There's yellow hiding out. So you can mix. Blue and red make purple, right? Yellow and blue make green, but you have a green. Or if you want to lighten this is going to be, when you add it to your white powders, these are going to come out pastel-like. So add your colorant until you get your desired look, but you may get a more toned down look. I have been told, and I do know, Jesmonite has their own inks to go in that are very vibrant. Takes very little, and it is like amazing. But I haven't invested in those yet. That might be coming soon. So if you want to help that out, in the description I left a way that you can buy me a coffee, leave me a tip, whatever you want to do. It's never required. The only thing that I ask you guys to do, hit that like button, because that allows other people who may have questions about how to use this, different ways to use this, find the videos easier. All right, back to what we're doing. So I believe this is going to take 200. So I have 2 cups, because I'll mix 100 at a time, to do that. And what I think, I'm gonna use a stick. I'm gonna put this color on the end of the stick, and I'll show you how I marble this. This is super white though when we mix it up, and you'll see that. So for now, put this back here, that back there, and we're gonna use blue and green on this one. Okay, let's add our water, shall we? Gonna mix this one. And make sure, see how this is like clumpy, kind of like you're mixing pancake mix? That's the best way to describe it. Make sure you're getting all that powder off the bottom and you're incorporating things. This is why I like a clear cup. See my spoon or my stick there? I can see if I have powder down in those little crevices, or if I have any stuck at the bottom. I'm gonna scrape my sides, just like I would if I was mixing regular resin. I wanna make sure I don't have any lumps and clumps or anything like that. Just like I said, you're mixing pancake mix. You wanna get all the clumps out. And I'm gonna scrape my spoon off, or my stick. I don't know why I keep saying spoon. I guess it's the southern in me thinking about cooking, because usually I stir with spoons or spatulas, whatever we can get our hands on. We use our hands a lot of times. So, all right, I'm gonna wipe this. Again, I wanna get all that off my stick and make sure it's incorporated. All right, that's good. Let me mix, oop, look at me y'all, did you see that? You didn't see that. All right, there's 30 more. I'm gonna mix it here. And like I said, you can't really mess around with this. So make sure you let your dogs out before you sit down. Make sure you're not expecting company, any kind of visitors, things like that, because once you start this, you really can't stop until it's poured out. Again, I want to make sure that I've got everything off the bottom. All right, that feels like it's good and mixed. Now, I'm gonna pour these together. All right, set that aside, put this in. Now, to make marbling, I'm gonna put a little green See that? That's all I put on there. And now, let me take this out. All right. Now, I am just going to dip it to the bottom and pull up. Okay, see that? Now I'm gonna do the same thing for blue. And I gotta hurry up. Ooh. Come on. Come on. There we go. All right, so we have blue. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go down and pull it up. Okay, that's all I'm doing. Now, I wanna make sure this is where I want it to be, and I'm gonna pour on the paper first to weigh it down. So, I'm gonna pour. Look at that, y'all. See that? Y'all, this is beautiful. All right, that's all I'm gonna do. Now, for this, all you do is tap. Tap, tap, tap. No bubbles. Look at that, y'all. No bubbles. Isn't that amazing? Okay, so I'm leaving that alone. I'm not going to do anything, mess with the design. I'm just going to leave it like it is. Okay? So let me put these back. Cover these up. Y'all know I have my handy dandy. Excuse the dishwasher if you can hear that. You know, we still have mom life, right? All right, I don't see any bubbles, anything like that. So I'm gonna let that sit. Now, I'm gonna do the same thing for this and this. When we come back, they're gonna be ready to be unmolded. See y'all shortly. Until then, make sure you do all the YouTubey things. I really appreciate your support. And like I said, if you feel like dropping a few pennies, that's always appreciated too. Love you guys. See you in a few. Hey y'all, we're back. These are done enough that I can take them out and show you. Something that I wanted to talk about before we get into this, fix this where you can see it better, is I found the J-Diction. It's their Resincrete, eco-friendly. What does that mean? This, you see I'm not wearing gloves. This has no chemicals at all, okay? It is like working with plaster. It's a powder, you mix it with water. It is not dependent on any chemical reaction. So you can do this pregnant. You can do it if you are immune compromised, you can't be around chemicals and things. You can still do these things. Double check with your doctor always. But this is something you can sit down with your kids and your kids can play with this safely. So there's a lot of possibilities. I told y'all last time, I actually make up art kits using these. I pour them. I got these little animal molds. So I pour the Resincrete in. This is how it comes out cured. You can hear it's solid. But then what I do, I either put pop top acrylic paints so they can paint their piece, or you can use acrylic paint pens and they can color them however they want. I have made these in the past for party favors, for birthday parties, people who want to have like a tea party and arts and crafts kind of birthday theme or celebration. These make great Christmas gifts for kids, you know, gifts for classmates at school. It's all safe. There's no chemicals involved. So I forgot to throw that in. Now, before we undo these, let me show you. This is what I got. This is contact paper that you can cut to size, put in your cabinets, put in your drawers where you put your silverware or your utensils, anything like that. That's what this is. You can find this stuff on clearance. I got these from Walmart, believe it or not. Here's the other roll. And you can find these for $5. Do you know how many projects I can make out of this mold? Even if I want to use the same technique and put these spaced down and then fill it with resin. Yeah, there's possibilities are endless what you can do with this. Make earrings, make jewelry. Like I said, endless possibilities. But I wanted to show you, this is how it comes. You can check Walmart, your hobby stores, maybe Home Depot, places like that, Amazon, whatever. All right, so last time I told you about how I used the mica powder and the paste to make black. This is the black. You can see. So that gives you possibilities to be able to create like a black plaster. And these didn't turn out so great. These are ones that I've tried different mediums in. I believe the blue was the acrylic paint, which acrylic paints do work, but they're not as vibrant as the jasmonite dyes that you can get. And this, I think, was just a regular bottle dye. So there's that. Okay, so let's get down to why we're really here. We're gonna save this for last because, y'all, look at that. How gorgeous is that? You can see it from the bottom. And here is the other. You can see it from the bottom. And I know there's some places that leaked, but you know what's good about this stuff? It's waterproof. So if I want to take a baby wipe and I want to wipe some off on the front to clear that up and clean it up and have a good crisp edge, I can do that with this because it's waterproof. So there's a pro tip for you. Let's open this one first. Look, you can see how cured it is. Not sticking at all. Super easy to get out. Look, I'm not even doing anything. Pops right out. Look at that, y'all. Look at that. How cool is that? And like I said, here, well, look. That popped right off. Some of the stuff we can just peel right up. But this is still damp. So I'm gonna let this cure more, but then I'm gonna take a baby wipe and I'm gonna clean up this edge. There is a hair there, I can see it. I have 2 huskies, and trust me, right now they're blowing their coat. So, but you get an idea. And look at the marble effect on the edge. You see that? Beautiful. All right, like I said, I can feel this is damp, so it needs to continue drying out. Let's look at our pink one. Y'all, look at that. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Look at the marbling. Look around the edges. You see that? And all I did, you saw how easy it was, right? All I did was take a stick, put a little ink at the end of my stick, dip it down and up like that, not stirring it in because that'll make it a pastel pink, but just going up and down till I see striations and stop. And then when you pour it, you get all this beautiful effect. I love this and I can't wait to clean this up because it's gonna be beautiful. So, all right, this is the one I've been waiting on, y'all. This is my favorite. I can tell you that already. All right, you ready? Look at that. Gorgeous. Y'all. And look at the marbling on this. Do you see that? So pretty. And it doesn't take very much to achieve these effects. You saw how easy it was? Are you gonna try this? Tell me. Which is your favorite? Let me move these out of the way. Clean those up. All right, y'all, after looking at this, I know what happened with this. And here's a little tip if you're gonna try this. These, what do you see? the paper is on a roll, right? So it's curved. It really, really, really needs to be flat. Like, I know this one here. These edges were curled up. So when I poured the mixture on the back, there were still little pieces that were lifted up to allow this to get underneath the front. I'm not gonna mess with trying to peel this off. These I'll just keep for myself. No big deal. But in the future, I'm gonna make sure that these pieces are completely flat. How do we achieve that? Cut your piece out to size, and then I would find something heavy on top of it. That's a good idea. Just stack books on top of each other to add more weight if you need to. Let that sit for a few days. Flip it over so it pushes out the round side from the bottom. Push it down with the books again. That's what I'm gonna try next time. Something I just thought I need to add in here for you guys, because I'm not gonna try to get this up. If I had pulled it at 30 minutes, I could probably easily have wiped it off, but it's been a while, and I'll show you on this one. I was trying to scrape it up, and I popped up some of the paper. So I'm not gonna mess with it anymore. I'm gonna leave it like it is. Yeah, I love this marbling. I love the marbling effects that we got on these pieces. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So that was something I felt like I needed to tell you guys. Make sure that your paper is completely flat, and you won't have this run under your paper when you pull yours. Pro tip, hope it helps. Ta-ta for now. Clean those up to go again another time. Look at that. Which one is your favorite? I guarantee you're all probably gonna say the same as me. The blue, it's just gorgeous. And look, you can see we all have this warp issue with these rain trays. They're kind of hard. So I'm gonna come up with a way, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have to put something against the edge of my tray. This one's not so bad. This was this one. And you can see the difference, right? You can see the difference in this edge here and that. So I'm gonna have to work on this warp right here. And it's sad. I actually think I have more because I order so many kits that I get these in the powder kits. So, what do you think? Is this exciting? There's so many possibilities, y'all. So many possibilities. I can't wait to clean this up. Let's do a little right now. And then once, it's gonna take a little work, but once I get this cleaned up, then, and I'm out of it, I'm waiting on it. I use a beeswax to seal this, because when you finish these projects, and I'll wait until it's completely cured like this. This has been sealed, this has not. And let me explain, there's two things. J-Diction has one they just came out with, and it is like a glossy top coat. It also seals, but it's super glossy. So if you want to keep more of a matte look, just use the regular wax that I'm going to link. I'm going to show you here. These are the two. Wax It All is the other one. Wax It All is just going to coat this and create that barrier to protect it from water. So if you want to make a, we talked about it last time, a planter that you can put your pots in with your flowers, you definitely want to seal it twice. Put a thin coat on, let that dry for 24 hours, then come back with the Wax It All, put another thin coat on, let it completely dry, and then it'll be water sealed and protected for you to put your flowers in, say, a pot. Or maybe you have little spices or herbs that you use for your kitchen. I don't know why that was so hard. It's Friday, I guess. Anyway, maybe you want to set those on like a ring tray here and keep them in your kitchen to cook with. Chives, thyme, all kind of different spices and herbs that you can keep in your kitchen. Now, the one thing I will say, before you seal this, you see the blue dye, and I'm gonna test it. Okay, this is not, but I will tell you, the jasminite, I do know that these little areas like this where you can really see the dye through, it will come off on you until you seal it. Once you seal it, you're fine, it's good. But before you seal it, if you rub your hand over the jasminite dyes, it comes off. Okay, so be mindful if you use those and you have areas like this and you set it on a very good piece of furniture or something, be careful because that dye is going to come off and I don't know if you're going to get it out, to be honest. I haven't tried that. Doesn't mean it can't be, but I don't know about it. So I would highly suggest protecting anything you set these on until they're completely cured and sealed. But I don't know, you guys, I'm excited to do more. I have more contact paper with different designs coming, so be on the lookout. I might do some more with these and just show you. But leave me a comment, let me know, are you going to try it? Which one is your favorite? And what would you do different? Anything? I love it. I'm excited to share these with you guys. You want to see more things? I have a lot of stuff coming up. I have some new UV color resin that you can pour straight out of the bottle onto your earrings or your jewelry. It's already colored. You don't have to worry about it not curing or being transparent enough. It's designed. Colored UV resin designed to use with your light. How fun is that? We've been waiting for that for a while. That's coming soon. But there you go, guys. This is our plaster-like contact wallpaper experiment. I love it. I can't wait to do more. Y'all tell me, what are you working on in comments? Let me know below. If there's something you want to see, tell me below. It might be the very next video that we work on. Until next time, happy arting. Ta-ta for now.